In the late 1980s, Omaha, Nebraska became the stage for one of America's most unsettling scandals. What began as a financial collapse soon spiraled into allegations of corruption, abuse, and a cover-up that continues to haunt the public imagination. Headlines at the time spoke of missing millions, but behind those headlines were whispers of something darker. Secrets locked away, stories suppressed, and questions that refused to disappear. At the center of it all was Lawrence E. King, a rising Republican fundraiser. To the public, he was a man of glamour and influence, hosting lavish parties and moving easily among political elites. Yet beneath the surface, investigators discovered that nearly $40 million had vanished from the Franklin Community Federal Credit Union. King was convicted of fraud and sentenced to prison. But for many, the financial crime was only the beginning. Soon, allegations emerged that went far beyond embezzlement. Victims claimed they had been trafficked, coerced into secret parties, and exposed to powerful men whose faces remained hidden in the shadows. Former Nebraska Senator John DeCamp gave these accusations a voice in his book, The Franklin Cover-Up. He argued that King's influence reached into the highest levels of government, and that the truth was being buried. One alleged victim, Paul Bonacci, described abuse and even ritualistic ceremonies. Another, Alicia Owen, testified against prominent figures but was later convicted of perjury. Were these testimonies fabrications, or were they silenced by a system determined to protect itself? In 1994, a documentary titled Conspiracy of Silence was scheduled to air on the Discovery Channel. At the last moment, it was pulled from broadcast. No official explanation was ever given. Bootleg copies eventually surfaced, fueling suspicions that powerful interests had intervened to suppress the story. Some facts are undeniable. King's financial crimes were proven in court. His lavish lifestyle, his political connections, and his downfall are matters of record. But other claims remain disputed. Allegations of trafficking rings, White House visits linked to abuse, and satanic rituals have never been substantiated with hard evidence. Files were sealed, testimonies challenged, and the line between fact and fear blurred. The Franklin cover-up endures because it raises timeless questions. What happens when power protects itself? How do we separate truth from hysteria in an age of moral panic? And why do certain stories vanish from the public record, only to resurface years later in whispers and speculation? Locked cabinets, sealed files, and empty corridors symbolize the silence that surrounds this case. For some, it is proof of a conspiracy. For others, it is a cautionary tale of misinformation and mass fear. And so, the Franklin cover-up remains, a haunting reminder of corruption, secrecy, and the fragile line between documented fact and buried truth.